Kia ora Tiwi, nau mai ki te whare wānanga o ai.
Kia mōhio mai koe, e hara mātou I te mātanga, e hara hoki I te tākuta.
Anei mātou e whakapuaki nei I o mātou ngākau, I o mātou whakaaro, hei whakawātea I te ara kōrero,
E te ara wānanga, I tēnei mea, te ai.
Kia manawa nui mai, kia ngākau tūwhera mai ki tēnei kaupapa.
Me te kaumawaru tau te pakeke, me whakae rānei o mātua kia mātakitaki mai koe I tēnei hōtaka. Nau mai, tomo mai ki te whare o ai.
I remember the first time I ever watched porn was with my boyfriend in high school. And then all of a sudden they're having sex. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Everyone was given the task of sculpting their favourite sex position.
Here I am, Spread Eagle, on the bottom.
Never have I ever had sex with multiple people at one time.
Like, what do you mean? E rau rangatira mā, nau mai, tomo mai rā ki te whare wānanga o... Ai! Can I get a haia? Haia! Ka rawe, we have an awesome kaupapa kōrero for us today. Hoi, we want to get those juices flowing before we actually dive straight into our kaupapa. And I'm going to hand it over to Te One, who will explain to us what our activity is today.
Tēnā tātou te whānau. So, what we're going to do today, we are going to me hanga tātou I tētahi tara. So you need to try and replicate the vagina.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you are only getting 30 seconds
Oh,
to do
okay.
this.
Wait.
We've got to do it on the
then-
cardboard. On the cardboard at the
Yes.
back. Okay. All right.
And I will judge you after the 30 seconds.
Kawa.
And your time starts
Well, they
now.
start. Right.
I don't have a time.
Oh my God, my nails are making it like very flappy.
Well, that's accurate.
I wouldn't have an idea.
Not confident
10
in what
seconds.
Oh.
a tara looks like.
Close her up. Close girl up.
5,
Hey.
4, 3, 2, tahe. Kate.
Okay.
cover your tara.
Cover your tara.
Okay.
Okay, and we are going to start with Stevie. Whakaate mai tō tara.
Wow, that is a pretty.
Ko te clitoris te mea tuatahi.
Ka pai. Kia
Okay.
pere.
Bearing in mind, I've never ever touched the tara in my life. Not even in birth. So, anei taku tara.
Kia ora.
So you'll see, I don't know if it's called, don't tell me te keho keho. How te kupu Pākehā mo te keho keho, the vulva. The vulva?
Ai.
Vulva! This is the vulva, which is the external. I've also got a clitoris, she's cute or whatever. And I've got the urethra.
Kapai.
The urethra, te kōhao mimi. Kei reira. Nā reira ai, mai tara.
Looks like a bun.
Like an American hot dog.
They come in all different sizes, whānau.
Kia pere
Okay.
ana hei.
My tara's in childbirth, so it does stretch ka tino kumea te tara. Ai ka whānui tōna kume nā reira he mea nui kia mōhio ai tātou.
Ko tērā te upoko?
Ko tērā te upoko. I whānau, ko kāri puta tika mai, engari, kia pai ai tā koutou kite. Kāre te tino mōhio ki ngā kupu mō ngā wahanga o te tore o te tara. Engari, e mōhio ana au ka tino kumea I te wā ki te whakapānau PP.
I'm getting PTSD.
Nā reira, koina te... I'm familiar with it. Ai!
Ka pai.
Ka pai.
Well,
Taho.
anei tōku.
It's like a stick figure.
That's what I've seen. It's like
Interpretive.
hey, in
Interpretive.
science, is this what it looks like on the science books?
Ai!
New language.
I kite e ngā rauemi, he pakupu rākau e tāpuri ana tōku hoa ki konei. I've added a little sperm on the way in. So this is pre-hair.
The sperm's coming from the outside.
And this is my picture.
Yeah. We're like proud tamariki of our art project. Te one?
Tēnā koutou katoa mo tērā. Good work. You know, good attempt.
Thank you.
If I'm
thank
thinking
you,
about it, ko te toa tēnei kēmu ko pere.
Yeah!
Not
And you
me,
fellas
huh?
think you know Tara. I've got plenty of girlfriends. Oh, very experienced. Theoretically.
Because, like he said, never ever touched a vagina, maybe have seen, and to be able to create something like that,
Yes.
te pai hoke,
Prakitihi.
prakatahe.
I feel better. I do it for my sisters, for all of my wahine out there. You know, I might not be attracted sexually to it, but there's definitely beauty of wahine that I am attracted to. And I'm very lucky to also have some close wahine friends who are open about talking about tinana as well, and as well as te kaha o te rangatahi, who also used to bring their kōrero, even the vulva too. Who am I? An educator or something.
Te te whakamaramata?
Ai, tēnā koa.
Okay, so here's my tada.
Pāhua.
Wow.
If I had one, this is what it'd look like. Me pēnei. So, we'll start with the outside. E rua ngā mea, ngā hangutu nui, ngā hangutu iti. So these are our labia majoris, and these are our labia minoris. So I guess the hangutu comes from the use of lips referring to the tara. So that's this one. And then above here, we've got a clitoral hood, you know?
Why?
This is to protect our clitoris.
Te pōtai o te...
Te
How would you
pōtai.
Māori what te
Pare
clit?
mōhio.
Te pōtai o te pātene tapu.
Yeah.
Te wahi
Te pātene tapu.
So yes, we have the clitoral hood, then we have the clitoris, and then this is the memeha. You know, this is what we call the urethra.
Yes.
Kei te
why.
tae
Right
hoa.
there,
I said aretha.
No, you said
I figured I got it.
Aye. Urethra. This is where the meme comes out. Tane have this too. And then down here, this is what we call the vaginal opening.
Oh, te puaretanga.
Aye, te puaretanga. So all of this is what we call the vulva.
Oh.
Tēnei te mihi kia kata katoa.
Tēnā koe e ngā kōrero.
Aye.
Tēnā koe e ngā kōrero.
Definitely.
I really appreciate, I guess, the different types of tara that we're bringing into this wānanga, especially because we're going to be talking about insecurities and our tinana and our body and I guess the expectations that society would have or pressure us to live a certain standard of beauty, to live a certain standard of what your tinana is meant to look like. Hoi anō, ko te auahatanga o te tinana he mea tāhua rawa. So that's what we're going to be dissecting
Kia ora.
today. Taupoi, talk to me o whakaro mo tēnei kaupapa kōrero.
Mō tēnei mea ngā insecurities, something we all face, something we all go through, especially I ro tomato pakeke ai. I te wai pakeke haere ana. That was me all the way. Why is that fella's thing on the porn looking like that, and how long till I get there? Like, you know, things like, am I big enough? And yeah, just things around my body, even not even to do with sexual parts, around little love handles. I've always been quite the chunky monkey, and yeah, big boned Mickey, and yeah, those were things that I really struggled with, the bullying around your fat, and I was. But happily, well fed. My mum was a good feeder, and that was something that I did have to come to terms with growing up. Was knowing that was a big part of learning who I was my insecurities around my physical appearance, and realizing that it's got pretty much no effect on me anymore because, that's all up here. You choose how beautiful you are, I reckon.
Tika tonu. E au mihi, o whakaro mo tēnei kaupapa o whiako rānei.
Ai, i etahi wā ka whakamā i runga i te whakarite, whakataurite i te tinana o te wahine. Koira tētahi mea ka tino ki te ka tino rongo. Engari ki au, me mahe nui koe, he a tāhua tērā. You rock it. You know, if you're skinny, you rock it. Kei reira etahi kōtiro e whakamā ana nā te tino whiroki, e mea ana he māwiwi tō āhua. How do you know what sick looks like? You know, ki ahau, ko te māwiwi i etahi wā, kei te kite i roto i tō kanohi, kei te tino kiritea, he pauri a raro i o karu, ko tērā pia te māwiwi, ko te mare, ko te ihu hupe, engari anō mo tō tinana, e hara tērā i te māwiwi. I tēnei wā, e ahua whakamā ana au i te mea, i ona wā o te wharekura, ka kaha tākoro haupoi au, nā reira, i whiro ki au i tawa wā. Ara i nāia nei, e kite ana kua piki ngā love handles.
Kua tupu.
Ai, kua tupu.
Kua wahine
mai. I au i te wharekura hoki, kareka oku Nā reira, ka e hara i te mea i mau uau i ia rā, i te mea kāre iau i taua wā he paparaima kē tēnei. I te wai pua wai mai, i miharo katoa. Me rapu. Ai, nau mai, engari anō, he taumaha i etahi wā mehima kei te tākoroha kina, ka peke rāua. Nā reira, me pehea e whakatau anō i a rāua, mā ngā mau i etahi wā ko ngā kākahu, ka whakapiki i a koe, to look sexy is to feel sexy sometimes, and that's cool. But we do face insecurities sometimes, and it's important to love yourself. Koira te mea nui.
And let's be honest, we're in a day and age now where social media is tētai o ngā mea matua i roto i tēnā, and with social media comes a generation of comparison. There you see your favorite influencers or people that you look up to, and they're doing certain things, so you think, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that tinana ne. So those kind of comparisons are evident, and they're having a huge effect on the mental health of our rangatahi. And specifically when it comes down to things like more intimate relationships like sex as well, it has an effect on them and how they're experiencing it, how they are going through that pleasure, and whether or not it is pleasurable. Te one, a ia koe whakarongo mai ana ki ngā kōrero, hanga whakaro I puta ia koe.
I think it's a hard one when it comes to insecurities. I had heaps growing up. And for me, I still have insecurities now. It's something that I'm working on, but I know what they are and I know why I have them. So I think when we're looking at insecurities, it's one of those, it's just about growing up. We're going to be attracted to something, and that attraction is going to look differently to who we are, and may start to change the way we think about what we're worthy of. So when we think about insecurities, you just have to remember that we all have them and to push through. So when I think about sizes, I've always been a big boy. I've never ever been skinny in my life. Don't know what it looks like to have a flat stomach. Those things just weren't around. And like Peter said, when you look at our influencers, you see either abs, you see these abs, they're really good looking, beautiful teeth, nowadays eyebrows on fleek, like things like that. But it was really hard to differentiate. So something I've actually done is I'm not active on social media. I'm present, but I'm not active in it. And my use for it is to stay in contact with whānau. And what I realize is I'm not trying to fit into someone else's, I guess, image. And for me, I'm trying to discover who I am. And like you said, Tamahi, when you feel good because of what you're wearing, you know, all of that stuff, it helps us. And that's why I like to dress nice when I have the opportunity to dress up. And I still know my puku's there, but I still feel beautiful.
Oh,
it's
and
just
he whakaro pai tēnā, he aronga pai tēnā mā tātou rangatahi. It's awesome to have that kind of directive or even advice for our rangatahi who may be also navigating themselves through this world of insecurities. Hei whakarongo atu ki ngā kōrero a ngā rangatahi, nei rā ko tētahi kiriata, ko ui tia ētahi rangatira, ētahi rangatahi, me o rātou whakaro, anei.
If you notice your body acting differently, do you seek help or shrug it off? Now, I know as a male, most of them will be like, it's all good.
I shrug it off.
Shrug it off?
Yeah.
I think mine would depend on like what part of your body's acting differently.
So, as soon as something's wrong, I'm telling you all now, if you got like an itchy balls or something, go get it fixed, brother.
I'd probably ring my dad. If it got worse, like to the point where it was unbearable, probably ring my dad and then he'd probably tell me to go to...
So you wait for someone to tell you to go to the doctor?
Pretty much. I would never go by myself.
Kua āta whakamātauria tō tinana me tō hauora e te tākuta. To be honest, kare anō.
Oh, not the finger in the bum one, but almost everything else.
Yeah, because there's a few, like, not sexual stuff, but like cancer and things like that in my whānau.
I haven't been to the doctor since I was like 10. I've been to the hospital.
I've been to like ER, but I've never had like a check.
Yeah, me neither. But how do you know if you need your colon checked?
Because they tell you reach a certain age and then you should probably go get it checked. Yeah.
Like, it's awkward. It's awkward as heck. But they're trained professionals and they're there to help you. And taku waimarie, he Māori taku nehi, he Māori hoki taku tākuta. So it's, mohi ana rātou, me pēhea te tiaki I te mana o te wahine Māori.
How do you practice being body positive?
Body positivity is hard, to be honest. Why is that? It's hard to be positive about your body if you don't like it.
Yeah, I think it just like depends on how you look at things. As long as I think a big thing, especially for girls, is how they compare themselves to other women.
Kia koe wharangi pai pāpori ka whai au ngā wahine e hanga ana pērā ki ahau. Because I feel like if I am consuming women that look like me, then I'm not comparing myself to women who don't. So, yeah.
Does size matter to you? What is, like, your size? Oh. Doesn't matter to you very much.
Carl.
Yeah, nah.
The emotion of the ocean, baby.
It's how you use it.
Some interesting whakaro coming from our rangatahi, and what I really appreciated is the balance. There were quite a few differing perspectives. And there, Stevie, what are the first things that come to your mind post that VT?
I feel like a lot of them are quite switched on, and I really like that when it comes to like the body positivity stuff. One thing that really sticks out to me though is the whakamā when it comes to, haere ki te tākuta. That so many people have this shame of going to get professional help. And I think back to, times where I've had smears, smear your mea, e te whānau.
Ka pai.
When I've had smears and I remember once I went in and I was just like, I'm like a little bit embarrassed, and I remember my doctor saying to me, girl, I do these all day, every day. If there's something like in around your tara that I haven't seen before, I want to see it. She's like, I've seen everything. And same with my midwife. They were like, we've seen everything. We're professionals. I understand that there are some doctors, nurses, health professionals that maybe don't have really good bedside manner, but I think we do need to patua te whakamā about when it comes to seeking professional medical help.
And even just the casual checkups. One thing that I was really shocked in the kōrero that was coming out of our rangatahi is the lack of lack of checkups or the lack of going into with the assumption that they are sexually active as well. And I think there is a bit of a trust boundary there as well, especially around Western medicine. And it was actually fortunate that one of our Rangatahi has a Māori doctor and nurse to help with that comfortability and bringing up these kaupapa. But you're right, it is quite concerning, I guess, the lack of checkups that are happening out there. Te One, why do you think that might be?
I guess it comes down to, and that was something that I picked up as well, it's about accessible services. So I think something that the healthcare fails at is what they perceive accessible service to be. Location is not the only thing that makes something accessible. Time is not the only thing that makes something accessible. It's having Māori doctors. To hear that she was able, she has a Māori doctor to go to and she can have that conversation. She was like straight away she was comfortable, she felt safe. Why? Because it was someone she knew or that was familiar to her. So when we think about accessible service, that's some of the reason why our rangatahi don't go and see their doctors, because they don't want to go and get told, oh yeah, what are you here for today? Or yeah, what's wrong with you now? And some practices can be very judgmental when they're treating you, or why didn't you use a condom? Like, you're here again. Because that's what happens. If you get a viral infection, you might be visiting the sexual health clinic quite often. And if that's how you're being addressed, do you want to go to a place like that? So yeah, I think when it comes to services, it's about being more accessible. So for our rangatahi, not all of it is on them. Some of it is about how accessible health services can be.
Tai, what are your experiences, I guess, with checkups and things like that as well?
Yeah, well, wai Māori au nā te mea i te pake au ki ro he whānau. Toko maha o rātou mahi ana ki ro tēnei mea te haora. And so yeah, I come from a whānau of health professionals. My grandmother was a nurse her whole life. My auntie, my mum's sister's a nurse. Her brother's a doctor. My little sister's a nurse. And they're really pushy. Like, that's the other thing. Like, they will ask me, like, you been sleeping with anyone else lately? But you go check. Blah, 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 things like that. So I'm lucky. I'm lazy as a person to go check up. It's not from whakamā or anything. It's just from I can't be bothered. Like I'll see something go wrong and I'll be like, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. You know. And then, but if any of my whānau find out, they're booking me and they'll do my thing themselves. I have had bad experiences though with checkups. This was, I think, before, when I was staying in Kirikiriroa, I went to family planning. My whānau wasn't available at the time to do the checkup, and I went in to do my sex checkup, like to see if everything's all good down there. And the woman asked me, do you have a partner? I was like, yeah, I do. And and then carried on. How many people have you slept with in the last little bit? And I was like, 4 or 5. This was at a time where I was trying to open a relationship with someone. So it was like, but unbeknownst to her, she didn't know that. And when I said more than my partner, she was like, oh, so you've been cheating? Like, asked me to my face. And I was like, what the first of all, if I did, who cares? Get out of my shit. So that was something for me that really put me off going to those type of places. And now I only go to my whānau, which I'm lucky for. Something I wanted to touch on with their little VT there was around body positivity. And, you know, māma noa iho ki te whāki atu he ātāhua au, you know. And then he tino ua ki te, you know, te tino whakapono ki tērā whakaaro. And, you know, I want our rangatahi to remember everything they see online about these people saying, I'm so body positive, my body's, I believe I'm beautiful. They've worked really hard to get to that place, or they also still have insecurities. And, you know, because I do things like on my social platform, I post pictures with my shirt off, but just because I am positive of that part of my body, but just because I do that doesn't mean you have to feel like, you know, you should be, I'm all good then. You know, and it's not off somebody else's whakaaro. You're that inner belief. It's easy to say, I'm beautiful, but it's hard to believe it.
All whakaaro, Steve?
Yeah, definitely. I think the notion of body positivity is so important, and I think even for me as a mama, thinking about like how my body has changed since having a baby, but I think since I've had my baba, like my body is way different. Like I'm bigger, I've got like a bigger puku, I've got more stretch marks, but I'm more confident in my body now because I feel like hika, like I pushed a baby out of me. I grew and then pushed that baby out of me. So
and
it's
let's
like,
be honest, people have attractions to different things.
Yes.
You know, we've got a whole heap now more interested in the dad bod than the actual masculine, muscly Abby body. You've got different interests for bigger women, more voluptuous women, because of course the common is to go for someone whiroki, someone fit. And I think someone that can talk about that has joined us, and I'm going to hand it over to Te Aumihi to introduce our mani.
Nā reira e hoa mā, kua tai mai a awatea te tuahine o pere ki te ui mai I ona whakaaro, ona whea ko I roto I tēnei mea te whakamā, te insecurity, te confidence hoki. Nā reira, e hine, nau mai haramai ki tō mātou hōtaka o ai, heaha etahi o wheako I roto I tēnei mea te whakamā, te insecurities.
Okay, ko tētahi mea nui pea, ko taku āhua, he wahine nui ahau. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Nō reira, koera pea te mea nui, e mohi ana te motu, he wahine nui ahau. Nō reira, ia e tupu aki ana koera tētahi, te tino whakatoi o te tangata ki au. Nō reira, ko tāku ko te aroha I au anō, nō reira. I thought, because only people can only judge me because of my size, right? And so I thought to myself, if they're just judging me for that, like if I learn to love myself for being that size, well then them saying those things to me doesn't really bother me because I love myself, So, well, they got nothing else to say about that.
Kia ora. Tēnā whakamohio mai, kōrero mai, mo tō waiata huraina.
Oh, ai.
Huraina. So, ko te tikanga o te kupu huraina, ko te uncover, to reveal. Ka whai no reira, the song, it's basically about revealing your true self. No matter what you look like, no matter big or small, just to reveal everything about yourself that you love, and to not be shy of those kind of things. I was aiming to be the Māori Lizzo e te whānau. Right? So I'm like, my song really is about expressing who you are and revealing and uncovering your true self, loving every inch of your body, and that goes to all my whiroki sisters as well. But yeah, just revealing your true self, and knowing that no matter what you look like, no matter where you're from, everyone's still got the same bones.
Kia ora o te tahu he. Good to see you, sis. I wanted to go over your social media, and I remember when you posted that picture of you naked in bed. And it was something that I imagine you worked for, with your, just with body positivity in general, but how much positive feedback you got from it. Like how hard was that to get to that stage where you were brave enough to post that? And then how cool was the feedback?
I guess kind of, I just kind of reached the point in my life where I didn't really care about what anyone else had to say. And, you know, posting those kind of photos, in my head, I just thought, you always see like models or, you know, skinny girls posting those kind of photos. Let's be honest, it could be exactly the same outfit, exactly the same pose, but you wouldn't see a big girl posting those kind of photos. And I kind of wanted to push the boundaries, you know, and I got so much great feedback. Like, I very rarely got negative comments from that. Because it is a big thing, posting up a very revealing photo of your body. However, you know, it's more about the reasoning behind why I posted that photo. I wanted to show everyone that you don't have to be skinny to show off your body, girl. You don't have to be a certain type of, you don't have to look a certain way to be able to post photos like that. And because I never ever see girls like that now, you know, I never ever see girls on Instagram from Aotearoa, really, Māori girls, that post up photos like that. So, yeah, it was kind of just breaking down those barriers. And the feedback was awesome. I helped a lot of girls. Like, I got a lot of comments on, you know, just girls feeling better about themselves because of what I post, you know, and just seeing me out there like that, it kind of helped boost the energy of other girls out there. So that was great. That
Even
was
men, you inspired me too.
Yeah. So tides are changing.
To take some naked photos.
I'll be honest too. I'll be honest, as a whānau member, it actually made me feel quite uncomfortable as well, you know. And I told her we're very open with each other, but too open sometimes. However, I did tell her and I did communicate this with her. But I guess seeing the journey that she's been through, or the comments in kōrero, it did help to normalise that kind of body positivity in our whānau.
Yeah.
If you know our whānau, we got the big whānau. You know, we got big eaters and big whānau, so it's normal in our whānau.
Yeah.
But it's very imposing and uncomfortable for some others as well, for a wahine so big to be so confident in that bigness. However, I do know as well, especially with Aotea's journey and what we've been able to discuss and help each other out with in our own little journeys, is that you'd never get to a point where you're like 100% confident in yourself. And even working through, I guess, Huraina as a video clip as well, there are still insecurities there that were holding her back from really giving herself out there and giving the true messaging behind that waiata. So Biggie, that's our ingoa, Biggie girl. O whakaaro, how have you, I guess, overcome that, and what is your current situation around how you're feeling with yourself now?
Well, I just want to say I got a boyfriend now.
Good on him! And he's still hanging in there.
I'm cutting back on the naked photos for now. No, but yes, like Peter said, I don't think there ever is a time where you are 100% confident. I feel like the thing is having the support around you. My whānau is very supportive. And like you said before, the whole being uncomfortable with the photo, you guys should have seen my Nan's reaction.
Kia ora, Nan.
She had the best reaction, but yeah, I was trying to explain to her, you know, like, you see Lizzo doing those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all good.
Pigi, o kōrero whakamutunga mō te hunga e mā takitaki mai ana who may have gone through the same experiences as you?
Just to be yourself, you know. First things first, learn to love yourself and everything about yourself before you go and share your aroha with anyone else.
Right.
RuPaul says, if you ain't gonna love yourself, how the hell you gonna love someone else? No, tika tone. All right, Peggy, well, tēnā koe I whai wāhi mai ki tēnei wānanga, a me te miharo hoki o au kōrero, o tō aronga anō hoki mō tēnei kaupapa. Nā reira, aku mihi nui girl, and I'll see you at Kapaga practice. Get rehearsing, girl. Get practicing. Get out. Huraina. Ka pai o hoa. Nā reira, kua huraina pia etahi kōrero hou, a hei tāpiri mai ki tēnei wānanga. What are some of the key points that stuck out to you, Te One, around that conversation?
I think it's, like the discovery of self was the biggest contributor to why her confidence has grown. And I guess that's the learning for all of us to take away is until you learn what you like and what you're interested in every aspect, like you're not really going to know how you want to portray yourself. So it's very much to be your whole self. And don't worry about how people are going to take you. If you walk into a space and someone's offended, that's their problem, not yours. You carry yourself how you want to be carried.
Tika tonu. If it's not harming anyone else, don't even worry about it. Tahu boy, have you had any, I guess, a new whakaaro from that kōrero?
Yeah, well, like, I love Awatea, and she knows that, but the thing that I got from that was confidence is always a work on. And that was something that was really cool to hear, because that's where, people see that wata, and hearing about, like, there were things that she had to still work on during. And that's what I mean. Like, the perception of these people online that have their body out, even for me, for anybody, there's a factor of, they love themselves. They've worked that hard to get there, but they're still working on it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, and they're working on it every day. It's a choice. You wake up and you think, hey, today I'm beautiful. Some days I wake up and I'm like, fucking back to sleep. I'm not beautiful yet. Hold on. I need 2 more hours. I need a couple more hours. So that's what it is. It's a daily thing. It's a choice. It's a work on that you're always constantly having to do. And that's something that Awatea really helped me see with her mai.
Kia ora. I think body positivity and loving your body, loving your tinana, loving your everything is not going to look the same for you as it does for everyone else. Like maybe for someone, like for Awatea, it was posting up confident, beautiful photos on Instagram. But that's not to say that that's what you have to do. You don't have to go put up a photo of you. Right. You can, if that's the way to reclaim yourself, if that's the way that you want to express.
Could be going to the beach in a bikini and a two-piece.
Absolutely. Or it might be covering up. Like mena, if that's the way that, some people express their love for their tinana, then I think, kei a koe te mana. I think find what it is that works for you, and don't necessarily be like, oh, that person did that, so I need to post a nudie pic to show that I'm confident too.
And that's where it becomes dangerous, because my little sister, obviously I have a following of on my thing, and I post pictures of my puku and things like that, and she's around 14, and that's in that stage where you're just coming into puberty. You're starting to learn who you are, and she's really confident, and she posts things like pictures of her rolls, and little girls love her for it. They comment, they like, and then I talk to my sister like, why, what's your messaging behind that? And then the danger where I found out was that, oh, look how many likes I got for this. Look how many comments I got. That's what the driver was. It wasn't about being confident. Yeah,
or the message. The return.
It's about the return.
Reacting.
Responding.
Yeah. Are you doing it just for the likes?
That's right. And I was like, because then you're not that confident, babe. And I was like, this isn't something you need to push or something you need to chase likes for. This is who you have to be if you're going to give that message out. And I was like, you can't just put it out and want return. That has to be going out from here. And that's something for our little kids where they're thinking it's a trend. It's not a trend. Confidence. That's where you have to be tūpato. You can't do it for likes or for comments or for the return. It has to be for you.
Especially because stuff on social media, like that stuff can, once it's out there, sometimes it can go and it's out there.
And I truly believe it was coming from her best intentions, but once she started to get the likes and things, that's what made it carry on, and that's where she started to turn into paragraphs about giving people advice and stuff. And I just have to like remind her sometimes, like, baby, you're still a baby. Yeah, like it's mean that you're on this little journey, but you know, you're a baby and you still don't know what you don't know.
Ai.
You know?
Nā reira, kei reira hoki
That's
te
the
whakaro.
kia whakatūpato I tō mātou Rangatahi.
Whakaro hea tō pai tawhiti, e me pēhea tō whai I tērā huarahi e tika ai, because it just sounds like some of us are looking at just the now, not after. What's after this? You know, what's going to happen after this? What if a guy sees this and then he's just creeping on me? Because that's what happens sometimes to our taiohi. He a tāhua te kite I tō whakanui I tō tinana, engari anō haha o whainga mo tēnei. And I love that you had to have that kōrero over there to say, I love what you're doing and it's amazing, but what do you want out of this? You know, be careful. And koera te whakatūpatotanga, like we're at an age where we already know what we want. But when I was, just last year, I was still thinking, what do I actually want to do with myself? What do I want out of my life? And there was a point in my life where I was actually a big influencer for my age, and I actually had to delete my page because I thought this isn't what I wanted. All these people think that I'm this person that I portray to be, but I don't put my whole life on Instagram, you know, so I had to take it down and take a step back and actually think about maybe this isn't what I want to do.
Taumaha tērā.
Yeah, he taumaha, and even for all of us it's taumaha. You still got to make a decision on what you want to be portrayed as, and that's just what our taiohi don't quite understand, and it's okay. We're still learning, but be careful.
Be careful. It's a huge internal building and development ne. Marama roto ne ko koina te whainga nui. And it is. How te pai tawhiti? What are your missions? What are you trying to achieve by your posts? Especially if they're having so much influence on our rangatahi. Te one from a professional view. Are there any kōrero hei whakakapi ake I tēnei wānanga?
Oh, there's so much to talk about, and all the whakaro is true. And I think when I think back at my 16-year-old niece, ki te tika, the way that they post things is not how we would have posted at that age. However, she's not giving out information yet, and I hope she's not. Just not like, I'm glad the confidence is there for some of our rangatahi, and I can't wait until they become pakeke and they're able to share their mātauranga from their huarahi. But yeah, I think remembering who you are, you know, when we think about things to be careful about, it's those comments, and we spoke about it earlier, is making sure that if you don't like something, if you're someone on the other side and you don't like something, you don't have to say anything. That's a whakaro you have. If I think about myself, I'm naturally judgmental. I'm a people watcher. So I could look at someone passing that I don't know a bar soap of and think, oh, I don't like those shoes. But I'm not going to go up to, kia ora, kare pai ki o hu. Like, you know, it's not something that you got to do. So for us is if we can try and encourage people to, you know, keep those comments that aren't supporting anything or aren't contributing positively to anything, keep it to yourself. And then be more confident in who you are. But we're not going to be able to build that confidence amongst our whānau until people understand what they can and can't say to others.
There's that kōrero again. If you ain't got something nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Ka pai, wo rawe hoki e nā rau whakaro, e nā huruhuru e rere ai a tātou rangatahi. Mo te tūpono, ka hoki mai tērā hononga me tērā whakapono aroto, kia Arataua no nā reira. Koutou I te kāinga, kei hopo, kei māharahara, Whakanuiā tō tinana.
Tēnā koe.
Anā ka kohi ake I te tapu ngā kōrero, ka whakairihi ake ki runga kia tīna.
Tīna.
Haumi e hui e.
Pai ki e.
Mauri ora kia tātou.
Mauri ora.